What's up, everyone? This is Alex bringing you part 3 of our 3-part series about why going to church is important. Before we start, I want you to watch this quick video for me. Saints, please don't tell me that's how your attitude is about the church. If it is, it's okay. We've all been there. Our last 2 times we talked about the importance of going to church. The first thing we talked about is how church, it's far more than a place. It's far more than the people that are there. It's far more than the things that are there. What we see, songs, preachings, it's far more than that. It's a place where we can go fellowship, be with other people who are like-minded just like us. And the other thing we talked about is how church, we know that the reason why we go is because it's not about us. We're doing it for God. We're doing it because that's what He wants His people to do. He wants His people to be around other people who are like-minded like themselves, so they can stay out of trouble, so they can encourage each other, so they can go out and feel the Great Commission, and they can make disciples of all nations. And we know that's what the church is for. So our last topic that we're going to talk about for the importance of church is about how church is a great place because it's a vital means of grace. Now, what's grace? Grace is unmerited favor from God. So when you get that job promotion that you thought you shouldn't have got, that's grace. When you're a Christian and you're going through a tough time and you feel like you can't see the end, but you see an end and something positive happens to you, or you see something small happen to you, that's God's grace. So going to church, we see that going to church is part of that vital means of grace. And I understand that it can be tough at times to be strengthened in the body, but that's where we go. We don't just go to church to sit there through the sermons, to sit there through the messages, and we just barely absorb what we're supposed to absorb and what we're supposed to get out of the message. We're supposed to get more from what we get. When we go in our word and when we practice what God says for us to do, we can receive more of His grace and of His kindness and of His mercy. The last thing I want to leave you off on is knowing that this is all you have to do. Ask God for grace and then go. What do I mean by go? By go, I'm talking about going to serve your local body, going with people in the church, just hanging out, just going for a coffee, going for a walk with each other, getting to know each other better. I know sometimes it's tough, sometimes it's hard, depression can get you, but when you look at it and you see that God is always there in the midst of our battles, when we're not in church, we're missed. And when we're not in church, we miss out on what God has for us, on that word that you didn't go to church that Sunday morning, the bishop had a word for you. You might have thought that he could have preached it better, but he might have thought that you could have been listening better. So when we think more along those lines of the church being a place where we can grow and we can stay connected with one another, then we're able to see why it's important to go to church. The best time to go to church is when we don't feel like it. So of course, I want to leave you off by saying, go grow, be encouraged, and of course, stay connected. And we'll see you next time on Practical Perspective.